A warm welcome to all of you here today. Conny is decorating. And Micha, the cameraman, is happy to be here again for Christmas. Exactly. And what color do we have today? Red. Today it's all about red. Completely natural. But look, we'll show you, Micha. Exactly. Lots of nuts, pine cones, an old container, burlap, and real wax candles. And if you want to know how this theme works, stay tuned, because we're going to show you now. And these are the things we need today. And Micha, pan the camera down, we'll get started right away. Here with the natural materials. Here I have this one that's already really dried out. I've had it for a very long time. These are the really small rose hips, and here we have a bit of conifer, then the moss that we always use, and here I have the base, which is a terracotta pot. It used to be completely filled with succulents, which I had used for another project, so I still have the pot. Then I have the jute ribbon and another lighter one here at the front. Then we have exactly nuts, star anise, here the cones. Then we have cypress cones, dried apple slices, and this time in red. Then we have walnuts, hazelnuts, peanuts. I think I have those down here. So really everything natural that you can also get in stores. And what else do I have here? Small red balls. I thought they were really cute. We just had those little picks at the winter market. I bought them, and matching white candles to go with them. Then back here I have the floral foam, a hot glue gun, a bit of wire, scissors, wire cutters, and garden shears, exactly. And I would say, let's get started. I cut the floral foam in half once, right down the middle. Look, and now we'll show you how to arrange it, just placing this here as a base in our bowl. And what I want to do beforehand, this jute ribbon is really beautiful, so I'm going to keep it. Of course, I'll use it, but for now I just want to take it off for a moment. And before we start finishing the bowl, I think I'll use this light jute ribbon here. I'll just take it off for a moment. And I think, especially since we have a bit of white and so on, it fits. It goes together really well. And now I'm going to cut it off at the back here. Then we'll take the hot glue, put a dot here, and glue the jute ribbon to this one spot. Just attach it, fix it a little, go around once. And with the other end, we'll go over it now and hold it in place. Now I will carefully take the small, narrow, and somewhat darker jute cord, and I will proceed to meticulously wrap it around this area, I would estimate, for about 2 or perhaps 3 complete times. Wrap it around the other ribbon a few times, make small bows, and cut it off. And now you can also adjust the ribbon a little bit, or you can pull it up a little more, or position it however you like. But I think it looks really nice like this, don't you? I can't see it right now, back here. Here it's still a little lower. You can move it up a bit now, and then it's nice and tight and really fits perfectly. And now we can get started. Now we have the base back here. You can also stuff it with newspaper, cardboard, whatever you like. But what's important, of course, is that I want to put candles in here later, so we need a bit of stability. That's why I've put floral foam in here now. And on the sides, I'll start placing the moss in here. Completely filled in on top, just laid a bit on as well. And I really did this specifically to create a more natural and aesthetically pleasing height right here. And now you can certainly start, it's truly wonderful. You can begin gluing various things onto this surface here. What also works really well, for example, with the pine cones, if you don't want to glue them, you probably already know this, just stick them into the foam and press them in a bit. Then you take the wire cutters and cut it off, and then you can simply stick them right into the decoration here, which is perfect, of course. Here you can also add a bit more height if you want to have nuts underneath, so you don't have to put it on top, glue it on top. And with the wire you get a really nice height, and I'll just start now with the pine cones. What also works well, especially when you've wired them on, you can also bend this one down a little bit. That means the pine cone now also comes a bit forward over the edge of the pot. That's perfect, of course. And yes, I'll go ahead and finish a few more now. The pine cones are in, and I think because nuts are just beautiful, really beautiful, I think, for Christmas decorations. They taste super delicious, but as decorations, all nuts really make a statement at Christmas. And if you want to attach them, just do it so that they look really nice. A dab of hot glue will do the trick. Then you take your wire, hold it up against it like this, and wait until it dries. Most of the time I just set it down somewhere. And once the glue has dried, you can use them wonderfully. Just like with the pine cones here, simply work them in. I've already glued a few nuts in without wire, just like that. You can also just simply place them on top. But with these wired ones, of course, you can position them perfectly or give them some nice height. That's how you achieve it. And I'm going to wire 2 or 3 more to add a bit more height to this arrangement. I bend the wire once, and now you can easily stick it back into the floral foam. Before we continue, before decorating further, I'll take the 4 candle holders and just see where I want to place them now. Because I'd like to place them here now, I'll just check and stick them in here for now. And I think you can really arrange them in any random order. I think this looks pretty good, or at least I like these spots. You can definitely do it this way too. Now let's take a look. Since we already have a few pine cones in there, everything holds really nicely. Once you've found the right spot, just stick them in. They hold perfectly. And now you can really start decorating everything beautifully with hot glue. I'll start by taking a few walnuts and some hazelnuts, and now I'll really begin decorating everything here wonderfully with hot glue. Just put them in, all mixed up and natural, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Pine cones, walnuts. We already have hazelnuts, and now come the peanuts and those as well. And of course, this is also beautiful because of the natural play of colors, so we'll glue those in here too. As I said, if you want to add some height, just use a bit of glue, attach the wire with glue, and then work it in here. Cypress cones, we'll add those in here as well before we continue. Look, now we've filled this really nicely with nuts, and with the cones, I'll now take my conifer. You can use anything here, it works great. You can also use fir, small fir branches. And I want to work in these little highlights here as well. So we get some really nice green in here. It's also wonderful with the cones, especially if you let them hang down a bit like this, then you can... That's not working so well right now, so let's make it a bit pointier. You can stick them in here beautifully and decorate with the cones and the small dried rose hips. You can also stick those in here nicely, or you can glue them in as well. But I think they'll hold like this, and you could also use floral pins, U-shaped pins. But I think it will hold like this, so I'll just add some little highlights everywhere as well. The fern is in, small rose hips are in, nuts and cones. I can only repeat myself, and now we have the apple slices here. And I'd really like to incorporate those into the decorative elements. Just see where you have space. This one is relatively large. Back here I still have some really nice space, so I'll just stick them in everywhere here. And I think it's wonderful that you can now see a bit of the red peeking out, and you can really let your creativity run wild with the decoration if you have spots for it. If you can't get in as deep anymore, just take the apple slice and cut it in half. And then since there isn't much space left, you can easily fit it in and do the rest. Here we can stick them in somewhere else, and the lemon slices are also really great, No matter if it's oranges, apples or lemons, you can easily dry them yourself in the oven. And they really turn out perfectly. I would just take some chalk paint now, go over it, and then you get a really beautiful light shade. And of course that fits perfectly here also with our candle holders, and you can see how beautiful it looks here. You can also look in from above, you can still see the texture. Also from inside the fruit. And I will now add these as well, just like the apple slices. And now we have our little glass balls here. And I think now it can really start to feel Christmassy. Now you can fill in all the gaps here. I still have a few bigger ones here and also the small ones. And I'm really going to use both shades of red because I think they go very well with the rose hip and the apple. And they already have wire on them. That's of course ideal. And now I'm going to stick these into all the gaps everywhere. That's quite a pot, right, Micha? A nut pot, exactly. And after Christmas, you can crack all the nuts really nicely. Exactly. But We're not quite done yet. We're almost finished because now comes the best part, of course. Now the candles go onto our holders here, and we have the jute ribbon at the front, and I think it's just so cute. It's adorable when you have numbers here that you just stick onto the jute ribbon. And now we can go from 1 to 4 here, wherever you want or however you like. Tie it around the candles here, and look, doesn't that look nice? Really very natural. I'm just wrapping it around here. Of course, if you light the candles, please be careful and take it off first. Here, it really is just for decoration purposes. What's really optimal about this decoration? You can easily add a string of lights in here as well. And of course, it looks beautiful when you add them everywhere among the nuts and the red elements. But today we're just doing the candles here. I'm tying the numbers on here. Look, we'll show you. Let me come to the front. Now we've wrapped the little numbers around here. And I think the combination of white and red really harmonizes well, and especially with the jute fabric, I find it makes for a very natural decoration. But it also adds a splash of color, and with that natural and festive touch of red. Such a beautiful terracotta pot filled for Christmas. Before there were sedum plants in it, now it's filled with nuts and pine cones, and of course we really hope you enjoyed this topic. We'd be really happy if you gave us a thumbs up. And of course, we also love reading your wonderful comments. So, dear ones, we wish you a wonderful weekend and see you soon, your Conny.